I'd like to make a comment on 7A if that's possible.
Yeah.
So I know that this year a number of wreaths were simply put into a skip when at an appropriate amount of time had passed. A lot of those skips had the emblems printed on them of the organisations who had laid them, whereas in the past these wreaths have been kept and recycled for the following year, thereby saving expense and creating more revenue for the poppy appeal. Is there any comment or any pressure we could bring on the organisers to ensure that those wreaths are recycled in future?
It's very good with the wreaths after a certain time, because that was the policy that we had, but nobody from the Broad Distribution had ever come to us to ask us to be taken down.
In the past, the Distribution have gone to St Mary's to remove the wreaths there, but the church may usually hide them away before they go up. Obviously, the Distribution want people to buy a new wreath the following year. council officers, they can be recycled. And I know when I was there, Deputy and I went down and took all the wreaths off the cenotaph so that they didn't have to go and skip, and took the pictures and memorabilia of them.
But the British leaders need to contact us to ask us about that because
We just don't take them.
they just don't.
Yeah.
We normally leave about 4 weeks on throughout the year.
Yeah, but they don't belong to the British Legion.
Yeah, we purchased ours.
So what
That's what everybody do.
What is the question, Councillor? What is the question?
Is there any pressure that can be brought or any procedure put in place to make sure that such things that are footprints in the Philadelphia go can be retained?
I think that's the difference issue that's on the agenda, and what you need to do is write to probably event committee to ask the event committee to look into it.
Okay.
Because again, it's not on the agenda to discuss tonight, but it is one thing to put out. If you just got me down to remind me, and I'll put it on the next event committee to look into that.
Okay.
Are you satisfied with that, Councillor? Councillor?
Is it? No.
Are you satisfied with that answer? Is that all right?
Yes.
Thank you.
So I'm struggling to hear what I'm saying again.
Didn't we have Councillor Collins used to do all this?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Were you wanting to say something, Councillor Winston?
Well, we did look at recycling, and I think there's a couple of bags still upstairs, isn't there, in the storeroom up there?
It could be, I don't know.
Yeah. When I took them down this year, at the end of September, beginning of October time, I looked into how they recycle, and I couldn't see anything really, other than going through the British Legion.
But we could
Right,
discuss
who made
that
it?
at the event.
Yeah, we can discuss that at the event, yeah.
Okay.
Could we speak for a minute? That's all right. All in favour? Thank you. Item B, extraordinary development company, new trade services. Can we receive for that? All in favour? Thank you. Item A, committee recommendations to consider and make decisions on any recommendations arising from the committee meeting. Finance, S459/19, review of governance documents. Draft reserves policy, as requested by internal audit, proposed by Councillor R. Dalrymple, seconded by Councillor J. Harston, and unanimously recommended that the reserves policy be submitted to the full council for adoption.
Can I just ask a question? How are we proposing to increase the capital reserve?
No good asking me. You would have to wait for us to financial officer, and I'm captain at that meeting.
Okay, because my concern is that there aren't any reserves at the moment, and we need to make it to half the precept. Therefore, we're looking to raise £70,000 to do that, plus. Anyway, I can lie stuff off on there's no reserve.
We don't have any reserves at all.
As far as I'm aware, there is a set amount of reserves. Most reserves have to be earmarked for specific things. So then you have to decide you have to reserve there for the bridge. This is to my understanding. Pam would be the best one to clarify.
Not having their confidence. Last week when we were here, the clerk said that we had £2,700 in reserves, and that will be wiped out because we haven't used it. Protect the rapid bit. So my question was, how are we going to get half the people for the reserve?
Can we put this on?
And that would have to go to finance.
It was already beyond because we discussed about it.
But that is brought up at time.
Yes. Are you satisfied with that?
As long as it comes back to full council and explanation. Yeah.
So it's the reserve.
Yeah.
That reserve.
As related to this document.
Right. Could we have a mover of councillor?
Do we have a principle that if we have any budget surpluses that they go automatically into the reserves?
Go through the finance. That's what I'm saying. Clarification.
Sorry, if I can speak to that. If if council agrees that we will have a reserves policy, which ultimately will be half the annual precepted figure, then it'll be up to the finance group to actually, any time there is a surplus, to identify if at the end of the year it's appropriate that that is going into the reserves. But first of all, we need a policy to say that's what the council agrees, and then when a surplus becomes available, the finance will make a recommendation as to whether or not that should be moved into this new reserve pot.
Okay.
And it's as requested by the internal auditor, so the internal auditor obviously feels the need of policy on this issue.
Yes, I appreciate having done that. Sorry. It's just that as it's becoming a policy, we need to raise that money to have it in the reserve. That was my point. Thank you.
So we're going to it is put to the finance, so that if that's what's in the policy, it has approved, so it's got to be the finance when I do the budget at the next meeting. So on item 8, F463, so now
Can we have a moving second to approve this?
right, can we have Laurie, second, all in favour?
Second, sorry, Gary.
Sorry, Chair, I was put my finger up to ask a question, right?
Right.
It's about the opportunity cost of holding the reserves. Now, the opportunity cost, as far as I understand it, is the foregone alternative. So, if we hold funds in reserve, there's an opportunity cost because we're not spending it on maybe good works. You know, I'm referring to the section now that says the opportunity cost of holding reserves, right?
Well, you
So,
know, Chair, we have voted and we are already...
Sorry, could you go through the chair, please?
Policy. I am, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
haven't
putting
finished
it on
my-
the Chair, but we have already taken the vote.
I'm sorry, Councillor.
And we're only voting on the adoption of the policy. And neither of them were in a position to discuss.
Yes, but we were asked if we had any observations.
But we've
making an
nothing done.
observation.
You were asked to receive the policy.
Yes, to receive the policy.
Yeah.
We put it-
I'm asking about what the opportunity cost of holding the
But I
reserves
can't answer the
is.
question. I'm not a financial officer.
Well-
So I can't answer that question.
Well, we've got a finance committee. Maybe somebody else on that can do so.
That would be for finance on that, won't it, not here?
Well, it's just a legitimate question.
Chair,
I understand that.
move progress. Can we just move forward? We've only just 10 seconds.
Point of order, could I just say that the point Councillor Barnett's just trying to make, he did have his hand up and it wasn't seen. That's the only reason. I appreciate fully what Councillor Wilson is saying, that we have taken a vote, but it was just that it was overlooked by no fault of anyone, just wasn't seen. You need to stick your hand up further if that's the case.
I'm sorry about that, Councillor Barnett. I didn't see you.
So was that a unanimous decision before you voted about that?
Yes.
And did Mark Council Balance, do you vote in favour of the policy?
I'll abstain.
Right. Still on item 8, F463/19, approval of payments. Item A, amendment of approved payments on behalf of the council the 20th of November 2019. It was noted that the arrangement should be made to present a cheque to care after combat from the armed forces being arranged. Proposed by Councillor Mrs. Henry Wilson, seconded by Councillor Ardell Winkle, and unanimously recommended that the scheduled payment of the 20th of November 2019 in the sum of £33,254.21 and attached hereto is approved for payment and submitted to full council.
Question, Madam Chairman, if I may.
Councillor.
The payment to Sage for payroll software appears twice. Once in line 2 and once in about line 15. Is that right?
Yes. But my understanding is it was equates to two separate payments.
Two separate payments.
That's why it's listed twice. It is not a duplication, it's two separate payments.
Even though they're both the same amount?
Yes, I think my understanding is that that there could be 2 months' payments were made during this. It's not a duplication, I think we did.
Oh, so it's not a regular thing, it's more of an anomaly, if you like.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Could I have a move for that? Second. All in favour? Thank you.
Are you in favour of Johnson, Perry?
Yeah.
Perry, Perry, are you in favour?
Your hand up.
In favour of what? Because I'm reading it says, it was noted that arrangements should be made to the check.
Pardon?
Well, I'm on the 463/19.
Approval of payment.
Yeah. It says members approving payment, yeah. It should be made, arrangements should be made to present the cheque. I was going to say, what arrangements have been made?
Able to come tonight. It's basically time to check those that weren't able to come tonight.
It was going to be today.
So I was after,
So you're in favour, so it's unanimous.
Item 9, motion submitted by council, proposed by councillor Mrs S. Turner, seconded by councillor P. Trumper, that this council instruct the clerk to write to Scarborough Borough Council, strenuously requesting that the Borough Council exercise forbearance within the discretionary powers of the X.151 officer in its pursuit of late payment of the YCP levy in Whitby until such a time as definitive ruling on the validity of the ballot has been declared. Thank you. All in favour? Against? Abstentions? Proposed by Councillor Albardi, seconded by Councillor Mrs S. Turner, and signed by Councillors S. Smith, G. Stevenson and G. Jackson. That a special motion to amend Standing Order 3H is approved and stands adjourned to the next meeting. Whitby Town Council resolved that there should be a change of policy for public questions in order to allow the members to celebrate the attendance of the public and be allowed to both ask questions and make comments. I know that this is common practice in a large number of parish councils, both locally and nationally.
As we explained at the last meeting, because it's a change to standing orders, it's on being notified about the standing orders.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Can I a point of clarification? I fully understand that the motion before the council and everything to move forward. But what I should have asked last time is, if we suspend standing orders, why do we need a motion to change standing orders? Because point being, another meeting of the council and standing orders were suspended, I assumed, based on having to put a motion before council, that I couldn't speak to that member of the public, and I was told, yes, you can speak to a member of the public because we've suspended standing orders. So I find it quite conflicting that we now have to put a motion to the council.
You're changing the standing order to suspend, aren't you? You're actually asking for that standing order to be changed to allow members to be able to ask questions of the public, basically. The standing order states at the moment, although standing orders are suspended, questions aren't asked, council members of the public come and speak to the, say their views, and that's it. But we're now asking that the councillors can ask questions of us, and we're actually changing that standing order to allow members of the council to ask questions.
And that's what I fully understood, but what puzzles me now is that I was allowed to ask a member of the public questions in another committee of this council when standing orders were suspended. So are we picking out which areas we will be able to speak to the public in? I just want clarification. I'm not being difficult.
No,
it just seems that when it's
I think it's because it's actually full council. And full council.
Could I ask for that to be clarified?
Yeah,
I'll
well,
be asking, please.
yeah, I will find out for you and get back to you. Right.
Thank you.
Councillor Bartlett.
Yeah, I'm as confused as Sandra about what's going on here, because we've had this on the table now, we're getting on for 3 months. You know, and it's not very difficult, is it? The public, oh, they're all sitting up there, I see that, right? And all it says is that we welcome them and ask a couple of questions about what they've said. And I do not understand what's going on here. I do not understand, for instance, what Standing Order 3H is, right? Now, we passed this motion 2 or 3 months ago, and for me, it was quite simple. We got a few members of the public up there and say, "Okay, John, what did you mean by that?" John isn't there, and nobody else is. It was really an effort to try and make this forum a bit more welcoming and a bit more interactive with the people we represent. No, I haven't finished yet. And now, you know, we seem to have reached this sort of hiatus of whatever regulation it is here. You know, I mean, I haven't read the standing orders, I have to say, and so on. But every time, you know, we try and do something like this, and this is not exactly radical, is it? It's not radical. You know, they do it in 5.
That's not radical.
No. Therefore, why can't we just sort of say, yeah, that's it?
Because it's a change.
Well, you know, you're going to have to, honestly, you know, you're really going to have to explain that in a bit more sort of detail to me. Because I tell you what, I talk to people out there and say, look, we're trying to do this. Do you know what they say to me?
Excuse me, we're discussing something which we said is not going to be discussed at this meeting.
No, come on.
No, this motion has been agendaed and it's for discussion at the next meeting. You are now trying to discuss this motion at this meeting.
No, I just
for
what I'm trying to inform you of is the reason we've got nobody sitting up there, because people say to me, I say, I'm on Whitby Town Council, and they say to me, oh, good luck with that.
Thank you, Councillor Barnett.
Chair, I think I can answer some of Councillor Barnett's questions. Can I?
It's straightforward.
My understanding of this is that we have standing orders that specify what item 4 on this agenda says at full council. And Councillor Barnett is asking us to amend the standing orders that instructs us what item 4 says, add a couple of words in.
But it's changed it, so that's why it's got to be...
Which is why it's got to be...
notified full council this month, and it goes on to the next month.
So the standing order that Councillor Barnett is trying to change is that one that instructs us as a body what wording we put in that. Yeah.
That's what it says.
Yeah.
So it stands adjourned.
Councillor Downing.
No, it's for discussion at the next meeting.
Right. Councillor Ross.
I understand everything that's been said about the procedure that we have to adopt, but what I have difficulty with is what Councillor Barnett referred to earlier, that this first came to this council, so he says 3 months, it could well have been 4 months. It seems to be going on and on and on, and we're not getting the resolutions we want to enable us to ask questions of the public. We don't want to interrogate them on the spotlight, we're just asking for for clarification of their intent.
That's what I just said.
And
We can't do any more, it's got to be adjourned until next month now.
Yeah, but why wasn't it adjourned when the motion was first put 3 or 4 months ago?
Because it went back to
It went to legal, because it was...
So I think the procedure was, I mean, it's not ideal, and, you know, you may have to have a look and change these policies in the future, but as far as I'm aware, Councillor Barnett raised the point. It was explained, then it had to go to a subcommittee to come back, and that the likelihood would be that we would discuss it in January. And I feel as though that was you know, made clear at the time. It is frustrating why we just can't do it, but those are the places, those are the you know, things in place, and we can't just willy-nilly kind of change it. So, you know, there's maybe a further discussion down the line on how we address things like this in the future, but for now, it was made quite clear that we'll discuss it in January.
Thank you. So can we have a proposal for it to go forward to the next meeting? Councillor Hampton, seconder. Mr. Councillor Wiltshire. All in favour? Against? Abstained? Thank you. Was the next anything? No. Right. Item 10, minutes. To confirm with an accurate record the minutes of the following full council meeting and receive minutes of each meeting, proper viewing and otherwise.
Yeah, receiving.
Can we have a nominee, seconder, Jonathan, all in favour?
Madam Chairman, may I now ask a question on those minutes that have been approved?
Well, we haven't actually approved them yet. We've actually approved, what we've actually focused on then is the case minutes on law.
Oh.
Now we're going to vote, you need to move the second to approve the minutes, to confirm the correct and accurate record. No, we just need to do slightly that.
So,
Although, does Councillor not want to query the accuracy?
I'm sorry?
Are you wanting to query the accuracy of what?
No.
to confirm an accurate record of the minutes of the following full council meeting and receive minutes of the meeting, copy to you and everyone says it. Mr. Warren, yes, seconder.
It's too late.
All in favour? Thank you. Next anything?
On the minutes of the Town Council held on the 5th, I see in item 42719, a letter of congratulations is sent to Gisborne, New Zealand for their celebrations of the 250th commemoration of the meeting between Maori and Captain Cook. I do know that an invitation was given to us for the Mayor to attend those celebrations, and she didn't go. I further understand the invitation was extended to another member of the council. Is that right?
That's correct.
But then because of the length of how it all worked out, then the decision was made that no one could go because the town may not be able to.
So it's a question of timing and availability of... I see.
Thank you very much. 11, members' report. Article 10, members' report, outstanding bodies. 12, item 12, flooding awareness. Sizable 5.5 metres. 13, 14, 26, 27, 28 December 2019. Thank you. All in favour? So next item 13, excludes the press and public.
Or